Hey, good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, the 6th of August, 2020. Hey, you big on dates, people? Keep October 1st, 2020 in mind if you're planning air travel after the 30th of September. You're going to need your real ID. Yeah, that comes into effect October 1st, 2020. Just letting you know. Okay, title of this video: Richie from Boston, RFB, versus Roy G Biv. Who and what Roy G Biv is, we'll get to in a minute. Richie from Boston, some of my older subs, remember I have shouted out his channel before. I strongly recommend them even to this day. I like the way the guy thinks. And when Richie says he's going to go down in a blaze of glory, if he says he's going to die with his boots on, if he says, I ain't wearing no mask, no how, not now, not then, not never, I believe him. I think the man's very sincere. Problem is, Richie, I think you're being misinformed, and I think you're getting enamored by your so-called experts that have a doctor in front of their name. You know, I don't want to rake over doctors over the coal. It's easy to tell when a lawyer or banker's lying. Their lips are moving. But, oh, by the way, I had a high-ranking Mason yesterday say, hey, lay off the Masons. Really? Thanks for the encouragement, pal. Pour it on, I say. You know, it's difficult to tell when a doctor's lying. You first have to understand the medical school industry. You have to go back to how the American Medical Association was created by A. Morris Fishbein. Ask Murray for more details on that one. The Rockefeller Institute, the Rockefeller Foundation influence in medicine going back to the turn of the century, last century. So you got to understand Big Pharma has a big play in how doctors are educated, number one. Number two, like you think a lot of lawyers spend a lot of time in 123L law school learning about the Constitution. Now, predominant law school is contract law, Uniform Commercial Code, Constitution, like George Bush once supposedly said, is a goddamn piece of paper. All right. Let's get on to that. So, you got to understand how doctors are educated. You got to understand another thing. Class ranking. Does anybody ever go to their doctor and say, oh, by the way, and don't take this wrong, doctor, but do you graduate in the top 10% or the bottom 50? Because, you know, somebody had to graduate in that bottom half of the class. Is that your doctor? Well, I came home the other day and my doctor said, yeah, he probably said it. But did he know what he was talking about? Was he uninformed, or was he purposely misleading you? Number of doctors. And that's the point, Richie. A number of doctors. For every expert you bring with a doctor title, they could flood the market with thousands of doctor titles to contradict your one expert. Get off the expert is from out-of-town plan. It ain't a good program. You got to start using common sense. Now, why am I rapping on you so hard about this? You're falling for the 5G bullshit. Now, I've said, as I promoted you in my past videos, big deal, I got 189 subs. Oh, thanks for the new subs. By the way, I promoted you in the past, but you're getting too involved into this 5G. And I've said in my previous videos, sarcastically, people, you're going to love 5G when they roll that out. But we're not on the same page here, Richie, and usually we are. Usually I agree with a lot of what you say. 5G is not what you think it is from the standpoint of the depopulation agenda, which I think we both agree is very, very real, right on track, funded, operated, and distributed through the billionaire clubs. And we ain't in it. We're going to be the victims. Yeah. 5G is, if you look into it, and we're just going over here to Google for one quick second. I just Googled 5G 60 gigahertz. And you go down here to Intel.com, Intel 5G Technologies, powers network transformation. Ooh, that sounds impressive. Here we go. Delivering a powerful, data-centric future where compute is fluid, intelligent, and pervasive. Pervasive, sir, means it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's like Samoa Fair. He's everywhere. All right, you getting my point here? The hive mentality, the Skynet, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, the great artificial intelligence. The prince power of the air is tools. Yeah, 5G. They need it. But They don't need it to kill people. Ridiculous. JFK's Defense Secretary, Robert S. McNamara. Google him. S stands for Strange. Robert Strange McNamara. Said back in 1962, there are a number of ways to increase the death rate. Come on, that was over 50 years ago, pal. Wake up and smell the coffee. 5G is going to be a tool of implementation to get the jobs done. Yes, it will definitely assist the depopulation agenda, but it is not the depopulating agent. You're falling for the radiation scare scam. Now, you can do incredible things with second picture, the EMF spectrum, all the way from the extremely low frequency through the radio waves, through the microwaves, through the visible light, through the deadly boogeyman, X-ray, gamma ray, nuclear radiation. But, unfortunately, all radiation, regardless of the source, ascribes to certain characteristics based on frequency and or wavelength. That is the thing. Picture number one. It is an active denial system. It uses microwave technologies. What, 95 gigahertz range? Pretty quick stuff there, pal. You're worried about the 5G and the 60 gigahertz range? I got it. Different frequencies do different things. If you are going to try to grow plants in a greenhouse environment and you use grow lights, you need to buy some very expensive bulbs. You need one in the red-orange range, and you need another one in the blue-green range. So let's now introduce not who Roy G Biv is, but what Roy G Biv is. It's an acronym. It's an acronym for the colors of the rainbow. It's an acronym for the colors. If you take a prism out to the sun's white light, quote unquote, you will break it down into the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Each color is based on a particular frequency and or wavelength, all on the same spectrum. All on the same spectrum as microwaves. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't know what you were in the Army, but I was a scope dope, a radar operator in the Navy. We used microwave technologies, and we were damn good at it. Now, can radiation be harmful? Hell yes. Of course it can. But like any source of it, all radiation, to be injured by it, you have to violate the four conditions. And the four conditions are simply, how strong is the source? How many people have said, hey, don't carry your cell phone in your front pocket, you'll cook your nuts. You'll roast them. Who wants roasted nuts? Not me. Here's the problem. A half a watt? You're worried about a half a frickin' watt transmitter in your pocket because it's going to cook your nuts? You know what we got here in North Dakota? We've got KFYR AM broadcast radio, 550 on the band. The blowtorch of the prairie, 50,000 watts. And you're worried about a half a watt? See what I'm saying? Somebody's feeding us bullshit. Somebody's keeping us in the dark. Somebody's misinforming us. And a lot of times those people have a DR before their name. Doctor of what? Don't forget, Bellucci's a doctor. I think he's a doctor of twatology. That's what I think. And total bullshit, man. Okay. So, strength of source. Okay, now, distance from the source. The inverse square rule, 1 over the radius squared, 1 over R2. Math's so simple, even I can do it, and I suck at math. Ask my kid, he'll tell you that. One of my kids will. The mouthy one. The one that's like his mother. Okay. Number 3, time of exposure. How long have you been exposed to this source? And number 4, shielding, if any, but including air. Now, you gotta violate those things in order for radiation, regardless of the frequency and or wavelength, to do damage. You have a very sensitive spot on your body. It's called your eyes. They are the receptors of light. They transmit images to the back of your brain, and you see with them. They are very sensitive to light. You can get flash burns from watching welding arcs. You can burn them by staring at the sun like some pot-smoking dopes do often. It's a therapy, they say. All right. That is a problem. Now, if the radiation source, regardless of where you got it from, regardless if it was natural occurring radioactive materials, regardless if it was deadly dangerous nuclear waste, regardless if it came from what the Fukushima is going on in Japan. If it doesn't damage your eyes, what's your problem? Let's take the active denial system, 95 gigahertz. Erythema, what you would call simple sunburn, reddening of the skin. You haven't damaged your eyes, your skin isn't red. When they hit you with that Humvee with the active denial system, people jump back and get out and increase the distance, 1/r². So we got to end this silly bullshit. And I notice you've been falling for the doctors talking about viruses. I know I'm older than you, RFB, and I know you probably never hear this or see this video. But back in the day, back in my early science classes in, junior high, 9th grade, somewhere in there. Well, today, we just got done last week talking about the bacterias that are harmful, the molds that are harmful, the funguses that are harmful. All living things, by the way. Now we're going to get into the world of viruses. Did you ever hear him say the definition of a virus is a riddle surrounded by an enigma? Sure, I fucked that all up, didn't I? It's a riddle surrounded by a mystery wrapped in an enigma. There, that's the three things. Okay, Jesus didn't mean to use the F word, but it just falls out sometimes. You get excited, you get passionate about what you're trying to teach people here. Alright. Viruses. They don't live. You can't kill them with hand sanitizer. You can't bleach them. They're not living. And then you take the RT-CPR test, CRP test, that doesn't isolate them, doesn't detect them, and you make people wear masks and social distance. Insanity. And then you say they're dying from this. Now, if an honest person wants to talk about viruses, drop the term virus. Say chemical. Say solvent. Military man, Richie, you were in the army. Remember nerve gas? That ain't a virus. Kills you dead. And you're not going to wash it off with bleach. And you're not going to use hand sanitizer. You better have access to a gas mask and atropine, an atropine syringe, if you want to survive a nerve gas attack. Remember that training, buddy? Alright, that's my point. Now, there are aerial inhalation hazards that are chemicals, that are solvents. That'll hurt you if you breathe them in. There are skin-absorbed chemicals, solvents, that absorb through the skin. Skin absorption hazards. That'll kill you. They're not living. You got to get your experts straight. I see I'm way running long here. Holy smokes, 12 minutes, 45 seconds. Let's get to that last picture, people, the masks. You know, you sit up there on the wall and you got a lot of time to ponder things. Hey, that was no break working for the kid yesterday. Holy smokes, is it lonely at the top? Holy smokes, is I brutally attacked by the bottom Peters, their little lives, the crowd at the bottom. Yep, jealous, I say. Alright, anyway. Why would a government mandate masks that they know, and the mask manufacturer know, and you should know by now, don't work for the purpose they say they do? Why would they want you to wear them? Walk into a crowded room, say my kid's bar. What if everybody is scowling? They're snarling. No smiling. You see what I mean? Look at how it sets your mood. Look at how they're dividing us. They divide us racially, of course. They divide us simply with sports teams. Viking fans versus Green Bay fans. Division. Mask wearers versus non-mask wearers, people. How does a mother bond with her newborn infant when she's wearing a mask? Don't you make faces at the little kid? How do they see them? I mean, it's sinister. It isn't for the stated purpose of why they want you to wear one. It's conquer and divide, or divide and conquer, I think it's properly said. Alright, I'm running long. I can't believe I'm running long. I'm born myself and ran so long. Guess what? 5:05, dogs are run, beautiful day. I'm going to have to get something done. I got stuff to do. Why don't you guys have a good day? Richie? Not picking on you, man. I agree with you 95% of the way. Clean up your act, pal. You're falling for the bullshit.